there, YouTube. We are back with some more match play commentary for y'all. I'm joined by the Highwayman himself, the Kaiju King, TJ.
Howdy diddly do there, filler.
But we do have some fresh BT16 content for you guys. We all met up just to kind of chill as a fan bam over here, run some games, and have a good time. So we were able to get some matches in for you guys. This particular matchup here is Jarrell playing his updated D Brigade list on the left, and myself playing the Sylphimon list that I've been kind of testing around with on the right. I think both are really fun decks, and I think you mentioned this after watching the games themselves, but I think both kind of respond to each other in different ways. So yeah, there's definitely good dialogue to be had between the two decks, which I think was really fun to play with. I am still learning the deck. There are a few things that luckily you were there to correct us with. So if there are kind of some, like, what do you call, like, takebacks, you know, bear with us. We're still trying to, like, fleshing out things and iron things out. But we were able to correct some things. So thank you for doing that.
Decks being learned, just the facts to remember whatnot. I was basically just like, I was the bumpers on a bowling alley. that's what I was. Yes. Or at least tried to be. I wasn't paying attention to everything entirely, but I was like the last two matches I was.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, enough chit chat here. Let's just let's talk about a couple of things first before we hop into the video. First, if you like your content, you like what you're seeing, and you enjoy supporting the channel, please do consider hitting that like and subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate it. And second of all, you know, we will have our socials down in the video description below. Discord, Instagram, Twitter, all those good, you know, good stuff. If you want to check it out and keep interacting with us, hit that link and check us out. But yeah, without further ado, let's hop right into the round over here.
Like Jarrell had go to hand out the gate. You're mulliganing.
Yeah. But I mean, I think Sylphie, I did make a couple of adjustments to the deck profile that I made. You know, I think it was some of the comments that, you know, you guys dropped were pretty nice, and I did want to test those out. So I did make a couple of adjustments, and I wanted to see how things went. My opening hand was a little rough without a rookie, and then I hit a Crimson Blaze, which was rough for Jarrell.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Just shut him down
insane first check. Yeah, so I did notice your deck was a little bit different. Also, sorry the camera's a bit shaky. We were on just like a folding table, so, and everyone was playing at the same time, so stuff was getting a little bit crazy.
And Godzilla was storming down.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Like, I know we even talked about even more changes afterwards too. We were going over some stuff where just like saying like the Sora from BT15 is probably really good. Which I think we both seen lists that were running it already before. It wasn't entirely new to us, but it just felt sort of weird, I guess, in a way.
But yeah, just to summarize what's been going on, Jarrell's been trying to play out some bodies, which is what D Brigade wants to do, and I've been trying to do my best job of just trying to control the board using DP reduction shenanigans. You know, I did have to play out the Aquila turn 1, but I was able to just hard evo into a Sylphie, which still lets me pop a 4k DP or less, which is still pretty good. And then I was able to go into a Sylphie last turn to minus 5k the board. And here my thought process is, okay, check security, something gets checked, we minus 8k, so we're able to pop the cargo. And I think I'm doing a pretty decent job here of just controlling his board and not allowing him to wideboard as much.
Oh, you pass. Oof.
I did have to pass, which is a little rough. I just wasn't really seeing a whole lot of coherent pieces.
Sure.
And then Jarrell, he does mind link with the Chu here. He did forget this was he like mentions like, oh crap, but essentially he meant to try to like lock down the Valkyrie, so, but
it has to be suspended by that effect, right?
Correct. Yeah. I'm not even gonna bother trying to say the name of the option right now because I'm too tired, but he plays out that obnoxiously just worded option, which allows him to search, adds a card to hand, and then he can delay later.
You mean the Metropolitan Police Department Community Safety Bureau Cybercrime Division Investigation Unit 11 Digimon Crime Response Team?
That's the one. So we go ahead and swing a Valkyrie. I use Akila's effect to pop a 5k or less, which then pops his body, which then allows me to gain the +2 or +1 to get 2 checks in.
Right.
I do live, and I do feel pretty good about living here, just because I know D Brigade tends to float like lower bodies. I misplay here. I meant to play out the Salamon, and I'm like, why did I play out the Hawkmon?
Well, you also can't play that off of the.
Correct. I can't play Salamon or Hawkmon.
You can't play either.
I meant to play Gatomon. Sorry.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I meant to Jogress, but then for some reason my mind was like, Hawkmon is the guy. Well, that was silly.
Yeah, that's okay. Like I said, I wasn't watching game 1, so I didn't catch. We see Jarell go ahead and just sort of starting to set up a bit of a board. He does gain Rush, I believe.
Correct.
On the Steelstramon. We'll go into Tankdra. Tankra's a pretty good card. Tankra's actually a really good card.
Tankdra is a very, very good card. The Inheritable also to Digivolve 1 all turns when one of you
out, yeah.
Well,
Brigade doubles out bodies. Then on play top 5. Adds the Satsuki. Top decks the rest. And so you're kind of stuck building back now, which is pretty tough.
Correct. So I do Crimson, which will cost me 2.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. I was lucky to have that just sitting in hand, which kind of shuts him down there a little bit, buys me a turn. I go into Sala for 1, which I remember this time around.
Yep, you do Evo for 1. He has to do the reveals, just can't play anything.
And we just hard Evo into the Gato in the back. Jarell does go to 3 because of Shu, and we kind of just hope and pray that a Tamer comes out of security. Which was sort of the problem with this round, or this game in particular, is that there's no Tamers were coming out, which made it very difficult for me to do anything.
So Jarell, I think Jarell said he did a little bit of a misplay here. I think he wanted to tuck the Satsuki under the Brigadra.
I think he wanted to Shu and
or not the Satsuki, the Shu under the Brigadra, yeah, and then Alliance, yeah, for 2 checks. And then he could have swung another check and been in a good spot. Does do the end of turn. Will not keep the body out because of Crimson Blaze. So it does just all go to trash. And so you're kind of in a weird spot here where
I am in a weird spot where I kind of have to do something, but I also just like... I hard Evo into the old BT8 Sylphie, which essentially just lets me pop a 5k or less. Which doesn't really do a whole... Jarell also is smart and just goes into the High Crimandra. Uses effect to potentially pay something out. Plays out the decoy guy.
Yeah, we'll tuck a Satsuki.
And then uses the Tankdramon underneath the Brigade to de-digivolve my guy, so I can't even threaten the ace anymore. And here he cracks the option card, hoping to hit a Sealstra, but he can't. But does play the Ginryu, suspending my Gato, which then allows him to just bop right over it with Brigade.
Yeah. Which he does do.
Yeah.
Which is smart. Just clear the board. And then just goes into another Tankdra.
Because he played it smart. He definitely could have just gone Unga Boonga and tried to just swing for game. But I think he definitely was thinking about, like, if he hit another Crimson or something that would have just, like, dealt with his board, he would have been in a bad way. So this pretty much just ensures that he's in a good spot here. I just hard drop a Valkyrie Ace, which honestly wasn't as bad of a play as I thought it would be, because I neg 5k on the board, which wipes a lot of his little guys. And even if he were to play something out, it just dies because of Valkyrie. But it's a little too little too late, because he's got 3 bodies on board. I've got 1 security. I don't have a blocker. And unless there's something crazy in security, I don't think he's in trouble.
Yeah.
And that'll wrap it up for game 1.
Still like a good game though, good back and forth. It is fun because like de-digivolve and play cost based pops can really hurt your deck, but then the DP reduction can also really hurt D Brigade. So it's a very interesting back and forth where both decks have good outs to each other.
Yeah, yeah.
So it creates an interesting dialogue that's like really fun to.
It's just good to have it back again. But we start off game 2 with Jarell just going to a High Commander in the back. I see the promo Hawkmon, and then I just play out the Searcher one which I know some people are a little bit like iffy about, but in a deck
he does
that
grab a
sometimes
2-color red card. So.
Yeah, and I can pick up a tamer and an option, and in this particular instance I did pick up the dual tamer, Kari and Yoli, which is essential for keeping this deck viable. I was honestly surprised at how I was able to just survive the last game without them.
Yeah.
And I think this round, or this game in particular, will definitely showcase like why these tamers are important to any of these Jagras decks, whether it be Shaco, Sylphie, or Imperial.
Agreed.
But Jarrell just passes turn with a boost. I go ahead and swing the Hawk. He does live. Big guy living, and I just dropped the pretty tamer.
Yeah, just trying
the dual tamers in this set were the alts for the tamers.
They look really good. I like the little like outline stencil they have for all of their like their partners. It looks really, really nice. And then how it has the fusion in the center with like the colors being split down the middle.
Yeah.
It just looks super, super good. So we see Jarrell. We'll go up into a Cargo Dramon here. We'll pass turn with it. We'll reveal the top 3. Can play out the Seals Dramon effect. He'll be able to return 3 to the top of the deck. Which just kind of helps him from getting milled out. Because D-Brigade, like D-Police, definitely just still mills itself out. So you do that.
Go ahead and DNA Digi here into Chimera. Which I can then tuck a Source. And then tap the tamer to gain a memory minus 3k, and then minus I believe it's a total of what,
you minus 4, but you, so the thing that I pointed out was that you could have waited to do the tamer when you DNA'd, so you could have done the minus 3 and popped the cargo, because then you could have cleared board.
Yeah,
because you do have 4 colors. You have yellow, purple, red, and white.
So Jarrell goes ahead and DCD bombs, which will de-digivolve my Chimera and then pop the underlying stack, and since I had a 4 cost, it just wipes the board. I choose to promote the Hawkmon here, thinking that I gotta do something which allows me to go into or play out the Salamon from the dual tamer, lets me go into a Gato for reduced cost of 1. And the problem here is I believe I don't have, do I? Yeah, I just had
this is when so this is when you thought that you could play it from trash, and then I had to stop you and go like, no, don't play from trash. So you take it back real quick.
I don't have an Aquila, which is the rough
so I think
part.
This is more reason to run the new Aquila too.
Yeah.
Being able to grab it back off the Gato effect, because Gato can Evo, and then you can pitch a card to grab back the Aquila.
Yeah.
Is really good. And the new Aquila also having jamming is nice. It's good early chip. Potentially. Inheritable.
Taken here. Plays out the Commander.
He has a Cargo Dread at hand. Then he's doing the end of turn to spit out the Shu Yulin and the boy.
Dino,
so you're kind of starting from the back.
I decided to do Promo Hawk using the dual tamer. I'm deciding which Sylphie to pick up versus the Gato, but I think I end up picking up the Gato because I just need the Evo piece.
Yeah, because you were missing another level 4 to go into, I believe, at the time. And Drill's got a terrifying board state. It was a very, very scary board state.
Yes, he does. So we go Harpy for 2. I'm always tempted to use the dual tamer right away, but here I think I remember like, hey, don't be too hasty now. You can just do it later. Because you have the end of turn Hawkmon here. So I go play out the Sala, go into Gato for 1. I do have the end of turn ability to DNA through the Hawkmon, which then allows me to go into Sylphie. Now I suspend the tamer to minus 3 on, I believe it's on Brigade. Jarrell does point out that there's the Commandra that like gives everything plus 1 KDP.
Yeah.
And then I end up sequencing my deletion effects to pop 2 bodies, but Jarrell still got a pretty decent board presence.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have had enough. He would have had the protection to pop something in order to float to another body. Because you would have been able to minus 11, and that's about it. Or minus 10 rather.
Yeah. Because Sylphie is you. If you DNA Digivolve, you neg. I hope I do.
I think you realize it. thought we did.
I might have
not.
realized it game 3.
It must have been game 3. I know you realized that it's some scenario when that happened.
Yeah.
It must have been game 3. Yeah.
Yeah. But then I just play out a
Wow.
dual tamer. I said just, you know, get more gas going. I can't really do a whole lot. Just set up my tamers. I know Jarrell can't game me right now, so I figured probably safe to just give myself another source for another body, like a cheap body to play out. Jarrell ends up playing the Commandra, does Alliance, hits 2 Hawkmon, so he's big guy living. And then he'll go ahead and play the another Searcher Commandra, picking up a Brigade, and then just setting up his draws for next turn.
Then he'll do top 3. And then I remind the Crimson Blaze.
Yeah. So I gain 1 memory off of Taiankari, which is an addition I do like in this deck. I wasn't running it initially, but I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think it does definitely add a lot of value, particularly in the late
Upward
game.
of a Sophie.
And then I use the second dual tamer, I believe, here to... Oh, no. I guess not. We just go into an Aquila, go into Sala in the back for 1, and then we play out the option card to let me play out a Gato from hand, which then will allow me to DNA Digivolve into said Sylphie. I can then neg 7k on something. And then I have the 2 dual tamers, which then allow me to do a total of
3 in different spots.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can do a total of 13 on the Brigade.
Yeah.
While you're, you know, stringing along your plays and sequencing your DP reduction. But if you do pop it off, it is very gratifying.
Yeah. So see Jarrell just sort of weighing his options, considering what he wants to do. He does go up to 4 because of the
Satsuki. But I do Ace Evo, which then gives a blanket minus 5k onto the board. And then he does have to do his reveals, which will play stuff out, but then they end up just fizzling out and dying because of the DP reduction effect.
Yeah.
And that just puts him in a rough spot. He does Death X, which will gain him back the memory to keep turn. It's kind of funny.
And I think at this point he's just weighing his options on what's the best play. The Death X was a good call, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Because Sylphie could have been swinging big numbers next turn, you know, because nothing to pop.
Keeps you, and it keeps you under constant pressure of the of what Death X can hurt with. But then he goes to play the Seals Draft, forgetting that the Valkyrie Ace was on board this turn, so everything's still minus 5k. And so the second he gets the board, it just dies. And then passes turn, you go up to 5.
So the Tamers, we go into Gato for 1, and then we consider using Gato effect, but I don't believe I do it here because I was just like, I don't have anything worthwhile.
Yeah, I think you're weighing it. No, I think you do it, actually. I think you...
I'm looking at my hand, and it looks like I'm not seeing a lot of what I need. I think I might, yeah. We do end up pitching the dual Tamer to pick up.
That you could use the start of main still because it's all still in that window.
Yeah. Which then allows me to go into Harpy, which then allows me to DNA Digivolve into the Sylphie, which will then allow me to minus 3k twice from the Tamers, and then minus 7 on Death X. And then, yeah, we just go ahead and pop it. We go Valkyrie Ace, which is for 3. On Evo, we minus 5k on the board. I swing. Since something's removed from security, I can technically pop an A Careless, but since nothing was deleted, I can go ahead and get +1 check for the rest of the turn. So I do end up doing 2 checks. We hit a Metropolitan option, which not too bad for Jarrell. I ended up just playing the Crimson because I was just like, you know what? Like, yeah, I give him 5, but this way, he just can't play anything via effect.
You can't play anything by effect. Yeah, can't use the Metropolitan options.
Yeah.
The funny thing with all this too that I'm realizing now is that the Gato inheritable, that's just a your turn effect, so it's on all your Digimon. So you actually, his security was minus 12k.
Yeah.
I think when we were talking it was minus 9 is what we thought, or minus a little bit, or like 11 or something like that, because yeah, but it was actually because it's the Taiakari on top of those 4 Gato, it's minus 14k security, which is gross. Jarrell does manage to find a play out. We'll go ahead and go Tankdra. Oh, Oh, that's such a bummer. The
Yeah,
training.
the training messed him up. Otherwise, he would
The
have popped the
training messed it up.
Valkyrie.
Yeah, he could have popped. He could have. Yeah, and then he would have been able to. You would have partitioned, but he would have kept turn.
Right.
And the play cost based deletion is also really big because all these new cards are super low play cost because they're designed to try and be able to be like, you know, played in a turn without passing turn, even though you're always going to pass turn because people never give you that much memory.
Yeah.
Unless you're Imperial because you actually gain memory off your DNA.
Yeah. Speaking of
Like the other
Imperial,
decks.
I mean, I think of all the Jagras decks that has the most tools, just you have multiple rookies that number one search multiple pieces, and also those same rookies
And
have the
the turn
DNA.
DNA.
Yeah.
Then the turn DNA is so important for these decks. Like these decks, like I think that's a good showcase there too. Like you kept seeing this promo Hawkmon, which I know that's a proxy, but like that promo Hawkmon is so much gas for you.
Yeah.
That
And
security does hit a
there's-
tie and card out of security,
yeah.
which is really big for you.
And that's like another reason too why I will typically just let it. I will just like keep it in the back, you know, and try to get my dual tamer out as often as I can. I'm like, whoop, whoop, whoop,
Sure.
whoop, and just play out my other guys. And then at the right moment, if I've got the Hawkmon in the back or a stack with that Hawkmon, I can just like push up and do what I want to do.
Right.
Because like you
Drill
said,
playing
he's just
smart
so
here.
much gas.
Yeah, Drill playing smart here too. Instead of evoing over the Commandramon, he opts to just drop the High Commandra just so that he has another body on board.
So he hits the option in security. So security is helping me out a whole lot this game. Missing a Gato or some sort of yellow source.
No, you grabbed the Sophie because you were missing the Gato. I remember asking you why you grabbed that over that, and you were like, "No, I looked in your hand, and you was like, oh, you don't have a Selfie. You had Valkyrie and stuff like that, but you didn't have anything."
We just hard Evo this Sylphie here. We minus 5k on Evo. Unfortunately does float a body and then plays out another Commandra. But at this point here, I was just like, I'd rather, knowing how his deck works and how low to the ground his bodies are, I'd rather just threaten the ace play. Because that would just wipe his board at this moment. But then he just brigades, which then just pops my stack. Oh no, it doesn't pop the stack. He's up to 7, so it pops the Hawkmons. Yeah, so the Sylphie stack does live, which is helpful for me. And then Drell's smart because he is recognizing that and then just decides to wideboard. We'll de-digivolve the Sylphie off of the Tangdra inheritable from Brigade, and then picks up the Ginryu, and then just chooses to sequence his cards in a certain way.
Yeah, because the Tangdra is just what everyone's played in general right now, and it doesn't care if it's by an effect.
Which is pretty busted.
Yeah, just being able to de-digivolve when something's played is huge and can gain you so much memory with the ace cards being if they are right now.
Yeah.
Grab the Sylphie again here. A little hawk fellow in the back. Drell has a crazy board state.
He does. You tap the Tamer to minus 3k and then gain a memory. So I'm sitting decent here. The only unfortunate part is that Valkyrie Ace can't. I thought about going Valkyrie, but then like it would. I
Not enough to pop him.
Yeah.
It costs 4 over Chimera.
So we end up just playing out another dual Tamer, the Taikari, to just choke to 1. And kind of just say, Drill, okay, deal with me. See what you can do. He hits a Venus, which is unfortunate, which just pops his body.
Yeah, that's unlucky.
And then he DCDs and then pops the stack. And here's when I'm like, wait a second, these guys have
Yeah,
Arbor
this is
Purge.
where you're like, wait a minute, Shuriman can
we got a big Hawkmon over here.
Yeah, big Hawkmon with a Selfie-mon in his inheritables.
So we do end up gaining 2 memory now from the dual tamer. We push up the little Hawk Boy, and then we use the dual tamer from BT16 to play out another promo Hawkmon to search. We go into a Harpy for 2. I don't utilize this a lot here, but Harpy does have a pretty decent effect where, like, if you swing, you can either gain a memory or recover one. So some people will definitely utilize that, and the fact that it does have Armor Purge.
See, I thought initially you were gonna go over the other Hawk and do that.
Yeah. But we do DNA here to go into Sylphie. We have a ton of inheritables that help the boy out, so I didn't feel too afraid swinging in with it. We do hit a Shuyu Lin, which does help Jarell out a little bit. But then we just Digivolve into a level 4 over there, and then play out a Memory Setter tie to give Give myself at least guaranteed.
And then you will go to 5 because Tai and then Taikari.
So here I felt like I was in a pretty decent spot. I know I have a good way to control board by popping his Tank Dramon. And I feel like I have enough gas with the memory and the board state that I have to kind of do shenanigans. So here I believe what I end up doing is playing that guy out for 3, the option card, which lets me play out an Aquilamon, lets me DNA into a Sylphie, which will pop his stack, and then I can tap to just kind of put him back to 3. So no aggression in terms of security checks, but I think very good at just like continuously just dealing with his board state. He doesn't have any more eggs after this one. We see just him continuously having to try to churn out bodies, and I just have a response to it. And here I think he's just, like you said, the hand is just gummed up with stuff, and he ends up just having to play the option twice, picking up various pieces, but definitely a slower turn for him. And I'm starting off at 5 memory.
Yeah, you have a pretty crazy board state going on right now. I mean, 2 Sylphies is huge. You have a Cylon on board right there. You technically have 4 checks on board already. But you have to go Valkyries here just to make sure.
Security's nagged a ton with the double tamers and the inheritables, and then I get 3.
Like if it starts getting its bodies on board and like it gets a presence that you can't like control, you're gonna just start falling behind because it's just gonna get insane, and then all the DP reduction is just tough to get around.
Yeah, the DP reduction potential with this deck is absolutely insane, and Valkyrie Ace being able to just give your board state minus 5k is nasty with how much it already DP reduces at baseline.
Yeah, it's like a mini ruin mode. I think that's what we said before.
And there's a good amount of aggression with it too, so definitely a fun deck. I do like the changes that I made, and I definitely will be trying to make more as testing goes on. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about the new build, just drop them in the comment section down below. Very, very interesting deck. I love tinkering with it, so I'll be happy to kind of shoot some ideas off of you guys. But thank y'all for tuning in. I know this was a longer video, so appreciate y'all sticking it through. And if you don't mind hitting that like and subscribe button, we'd appreciate it once again. And hopefully we will catch you on that next video. Bye-bye.